We recognize that CVUUS gathers on land seized from the Western Abenaki people by European colonizers. We respect the Abenaki's spiritual relationship to the land and waters of the Champlain Valley, and we are committed to building a peaceful and more just relationship with them and to promoting knowledge about their history and culture.
Thank you, Abby. That's also to let you know that Esther wasn't able to come this morning, and Abby has filled in for her as the worship associate. Today, my name is Ellen Flight, and I welcome you to Champlain Valley Unitarian Universalist Society here in Middlebury for all of Addison County. And I have some pathways to connection to share with you this morning, some of which are indeed in your order of service. The first one is that there's a table out in the foyer where Dale will be selling cards for Habitat for Humanity. The second one is that on Tuesday this week at 7 p.m. in this sanctuary, the Climate Economy Action Center of Addison County and the CVUUS Green Team are hosting a talk with John Elder, Emeritus Professor at the college, about the book, The Ministry for the Future. So it would be great to have a great turnout for that event. And the third thing I'd like to share with you has to do with our Radical Love Party, which you've been hearing about for weeks now. And you will be delighted to see when you go downstairs that there's a whole set of tables arranged with the things that are on offer. And the first table, as you come downstairs, coming down the stairs on your left, is where Marnie and May and somebody else will be, where you can get your tickets. Everybody who's listed in the directory gets 10 tickets. So for instance, I get my 10 and my mom's 10. So, but then I have to put all of her 10 into Brett's thing for getting the granola. So hers go very quickly. So you can do it either putting one in many things or all in one thing. And you'll be asked to write your name on the back. And if you are meeting us from Zoom, you can go online and you can get tickets there and you can put them in so that you can also get a chance to win something from the Radical Love Festival. And the deadline, though, for online is midnight on Thursday the 8th. And then after that, and they will draw who wins what. And at next Sunday after the service, during the party, you will hear who has won what items. And if they're there, you can take them home at that point if you won them. And Marnie, I've missed something, so. No, I just want to clarify, we have a little executive meeting of the committee this morning, and anyone who is here could have tickets, because our idea is that everyone can participate. So you don't absolutely have to have your name in the directory. We love to have things dispersed, so the more the merrier. Does that make sense? So if you're visiting today and you're not happen to be in the directory yet, then you can still participate. We don't want to exclude anyone, okay? And there's some really cool stuff. And I think, this Pathways to Connection ideas, there's lots of things that are offered so that you will have an opportunity to meet other folks from CVUUS and make those connections in other venues besides Sunday service or Sunday coffee hour, okay? The rest of those you can read for yourself. And our call to worship, well, first we have a gathering song that Poppy and Ronnie are going to help us with.
All right. Oh, it says it's check, check, check. Says it's on. No, I can hear that, but the green. But the green light was on. Sorry. Okay. This is a sing-along. So I'm going to sing the verses, and you have kind of a bit at the end, and then the chorus. So I just want to show you that bit. So the beginning is just, where is the light? Okay, so the chorus is, I'll just sing it once, and then we'll just sing it again, and you'll get the hang of it. So the words are, where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Yeah? Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Again, where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Beautiful. And then the other part you'll have, which is similar, is I'll sing a verse, da 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 da, and you'll go, where is the light? Da 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 da. Where is the light? Stay down. Na 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 na. Where is the light? Na 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 na. Where is the light? And then into the chorus. Right? If you don't do it perfectly, that doesn't matter. I don't care. Person sitting next to you might, but hey, I'm not sitting next to you, so that's how that goes. So yeah, I mean, you know, nice and boisterous, and if you hear harmonies, go for it. So this is just a nice little solstice. Life's kind of dark outside in the morning. I'm looking at Hannah and thinking, wondering how early she gets out to deal with goats. Do you have to get up really early? Sometimes, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Rise and body your spirit as you want to. Okay. When it's late December, dark and cold, where is the light? When old man year is bending low, where is the light? When the sun runs off to bed too soon, where is the light? And there's nothing but a skinny moon, where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. When it's dark each morning when I rise, where is the light? And it's dark when my eggs are frying, where is the light? And it's dark when off to work I go, where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home, where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin and in my bones and in my heart and in my soul. The light of life so bright and golden like a summer day. The sun goes missing in the sky. It's rising in my eyes, chasing all that winter gloom away. I'm burning bright like kerosene. Where is the light? I'm twinkling like the Pleiades. Where is the light? I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? I'm flaming like a fruit flambe. Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me again. Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. 2, 3, 4. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And we heard from 3 members who remembered significant people in their lives. We learned more about Tom Morgan, Becky Strum, and Liam Batchis Greenwood from their moving remembrances. There was also inspiration from the fall worship team retreat, when through a variety of methods, members of the worship team spent time getting to know one another more deeply by sharing information about ourselves in a small group setting. At the November meeting of the worship team, I proposed that we build in some time at this service to give all of us the opportunity to learn and share more about ourselves in smaller groups. So later in this service, you will get the chance to get to know 2 other people a little better by reflecting and sharing how, as individuals and families, you have celebrated whichever winter holiday you choose. Think about foods, songs, rituals, stories, traditions, a holiday spent somewhere other than home, a holiday surprise, and you can choose from any number of the global holidays that are celebrated at this time of year, including Hanukkah, Christmas, solstice, Kwanzaa, Chalaka, which is this, looking into this, I found that about 10 or more years ago, some UUs decided they wanted to have a wintertime celebration around the chalice. You can Google that and find out more if you haven't celebrated that. St. Lucia Day, which I know that at least 2 people here today have regularly celebrated, and the Japanese festival of Osaka. Or if there's another tradition you'd like to share from this time of year, go ahead, and we'll let you know how this is going to work logistically a little bit later in the service. I will also share a reflection of my own about a holiday tradition from my family. And the music for today's service was generated from Ronnie speaking with the choir about songs that they'd like to share with us today. So it's really been a very collaborative service. So let us worship together today. And now Abby's going to do our chalice lighting with you. I can light the candle if you want to read the reading.
Community is the spirit, the guiding light of the tribe, whereby people come together in order to fulfill a specific purpose, to help others fulfill their purpose, and to take care of one another.
So Poppy's going to explain how this time for all ages is going to work, which will also involve some movement on your part. So are you going to explain the wreaths and the tree? Or do you want me to say something about the wreaths?
You can do the wreath. I'm wondering why this isn't turning on though, because this worked yesterday.
So for what we're going to do is we're going to decorate the tree, and we also have 3 wreaths over there, which are going to be decorated as well with ornaments that have been made in the past. And we're going to ask the kids to come up first, but then we also need some hands of taller people for the upper reaches of this tree. And for those of you who don't want to get up or are unable to get up, or that's a hardship, Abby and I are going to pass around things that you can choose, and then we'll put on the tree for you, including some ribbons that if you'd like to remember somebody who's no longer with us, you can write their name on a ribbon, and we'll tie that on the tree. The 3 wreaths are beauty and 2 other things, which I forget. Justice and compassion. So if you see an ornament or would like to put something on that specific wreath, those are going to eventually hang up over there on that slotted part of the wall. So Ronnie's going to play some appropriate Christmas tree and wreath decorating music, and I invite you to join in. But let's get the kids to come up first, and then okay, and then Poppy's going to say a little something for the kids.
Hi. So this is a tradition we've done for many years, and yeah, you can go ahead and pick out an ornament. And the ornaments on the table are ones that have been collected, that kids have made over 9 years, 8 years. So the ones that we sell out there to raise money for guests at the table, these are like every year I pull a couple from that batch aside so that they kind of build up on the tree. What else do I want to say? Oh, I know. The other thing I wanted to say was we're not going to totally decorate the tree right now. I mean, I invite anybody who wants to in just a second to come put an ornament on the tree. And then once everyone's done one, that'll be it for now. But after the service, you can do more. During social hour, you can do more. So by the end of today, all the ornaments will be up, but it won't all happen now. So I think that's it. So take it away. So anyone who wants to is now invited to come up and put an ornament on the tree.
Before we sing the children out, and the words will be on the screen, I would just like to acknowledge all the people who are involved in the decorating and getting of the wreaths, and then there's a lot of decoration that happened downstairs. It's really beautiful as well. So we thank those people, and if the children will come forward, then you can take the chalice across the way to RE. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Let us open our eyes to see what is true. Let us open our eyes to love one another. And may we walk in peace.
Yeah. Good morning. So it's the beginning of a new month, and so we have a new donee, and the donations team was looking for the month of December for an organization that supported housing, worked on environmental issues, or worked on strengthening communities. And we found an organization that does all three, and it's actually an organization that's based in Vermont. And that's the Institute for Sustainable Communities. Showing of hands, how many of you have heard of this group? Okay, not very many. And yes. So this organization was started in 1990 by former Governor Madeleine Kunin and her policy advisor on a trip in Eastern Europe. And it was founded to help build capacity and programs focusing on environmental management, clean energy, economic development, and public health. And then more recently, the board has shifted the policy to focus on addressing climate change and environmental health in the US and in Asia. So how do they do that, and what is a sustainable community? And their feeling is that throughout the world, people want the same things: access to clean air and water, economic opportunities, a safe and healthy place to raise their kids, shelter, lifelong learning, a sense of community, and the ability to have a say in decisions that affect their lives. Sustainable community takes into account and addresses multiple human needs, not just one to the exclusion of the other. And it's a place where people of diverse backgrounds and perspectives feel welcome and safe, and where every group has a seat at the decision-making table, and where prosperity is shared. So the Institute for Sustainable Communities does this working in the US, China, Bangladesh, and India. They work on economic community development. They work on the clean energy transition. They work on green finance and urban systems. They work on improving conditions in factories and improving community resilience. And they do that by strengthening institutions and leaders. They try out practical solutions, and then they share that, demonstrating what works
they adapt and share and replicate what they've done across this broad network that they've developed, and they work to develop public-private partnerships so that these programs that they work on are sustainable and continue. And so we thought that this was a great organization to support, both because of its Vermont connections and because of the work that it does around the world. And we hope that you are as generous as you are able this month. Thank you.
This morning, we will be passing the baskets, and I would like to just say that there is no obligation to, we'd like you if you feel moved to donate, but especially if you're a visitor today or you give online in another way, just pass the basket along and it's fine. There happened to be no yellow cards, and I didn't hear word from Barnaby about any milestones or passages, so we'll just go right into a little time of meditation to reflect on milestones and passages that have remained on our hearts but are left unspoken this morning. So when the meditation is over, the choir will come up to share a song with us. So that's when you'll know we're finished. So take a few deep breaths, get your feet on the floor so you're comfortable, can sit for a few moments, maybe count 4 in, 4 out to get your breathing regulated. Relax your shoulders. Think about what you're going to say when you're in a small group with other people. And we'll start. I'm going to share a short reflection, 322 words, which would be 2.5 minutes, which is to model how long you'll have when you're in your small group. About a Christmas tradition in my family. So, my father died January 15th, 2016. And almost a year later, Christmas was approaching, and I was struggling about putting up a Christmas tree. In my grief support group, I learned that I was not the only one feeling ambivalent about the upcoming holidays. That year, slide 1 please, I did put up a tree for my mother. But it would be another year before I put up my own tree. So that's my mom at her apartment. And there's my tree. Since then, I have wondered if, aside from missing my dad, my ambivalence was also related to one of our family traditions. Each year, my mother had given each member of the family an ornament for the family tree. My first ornament, 65 years ago, next slide, is on the left. It's the sort of shiny silver bauble with some extra things. It is still marked with my name and the year on a small piece of paper in my mother's writing, attached in a discreet place under now yellowed tape. In this next photo, you see you might see an umbrella on the left, an ornament that marked the year Mary Poppins, my favorite movie, came out. That was when we still went to the movie theaters to see movies once. You can imagine now why it was extra hard in 2016 to consider decorating my tree, as almost every ornament has special meaning or recalls a time or year within our family. With some distance from my father's death, decorating my tree, and my mother's, which holds almost all of the ornaments she gave to my father, tree decorating has again become a more joyous time to remember family events and milestones. And for perhaps the last 20 years or so, I have added to my own collection during my travels. In fact, picture 5, I have had to split my ornament collection and taken out the heart-shaped ones and the snowmen/winter ornaments for a January or February special ornament tree, just to keep mine from being too loaded down. So I hope that you have a family tradition or something special you'd like to share with a few other people. Now, I know that this kind of thing can be a little uncomfortable to some people who feel a little more introverted, so that's why we're going to keep the groups to 3 folks so that you have a little more confidence. But it's also, just as we learned at the worship retreat, being a little uncomfortable and outside your comfort zone is still okay as a way to grow through an experience and get to know some other people a little better. So knowing that most people sit with friends, we are going to have a little musical chairs interlude by Ronnie on the piano to get you to move. At the same time, we know that for some people, it's physically a challenge or mentally a challenge to move, and so you can stay where you are, and the job of the rest of us is to look for those people and move into their sphere so you can sit down with them. Now, the people in this section over here have chosen that place because they still want to wear masks and be together, and so we'll let you just mix amongst yourselves, and the rest of you, the other 3 sections, you mix a little bit more. Okay? And when the music stops, just like in the old musical chairs game, you sit and find your people. And so today you are allowed to move the chairs a little bit. Just know that you'll need to put them back when you're done. And the last thing is that when we've had time for sharing, we will ask if anybody heard something that they think they'd like to share to the whole group, but you need to ask permission of the person whose idea you heard. So please make that a part of your sharing as well, if you're okay at the end. And I'm going to time you for about 2 minutes and then tell you to switch. And if you somehow end up with 4, you're going to get a little less time and you'll have to be on your own watch for switching so everybody gets a chance to share, okay? Any questions before we begin? All right. Ronnie hits the second and third note. Please rise as able or willing and move around a little bit.
So we can unmute and we can share amongst ourselves. All you folks on Zoom. Back you don't need me. ID. Maybe I should get further away from the piano, right? Musical chairs, right? So I'm over in the side of the chapel. It's not the chapel, it's the sanctuary, right? Anybody want to share anything?
Hey, Steve, it's Margie and Jordan.
Put the timer on my phone. All right, now it's time for the third person to have a turn. So switch again, and if you're in a group of 4, be sure that everyone's had an opportunity to share. And also ask permission if there's something that you think is you want to share to the whole group. All right. All right. Okay. Can share something you learned today about hopefully somebody you haven't had a chance to talk to before. right, it looks like we have the first person who's going to share out a little bit. Morris Earl has the microphone. And if, I've introduced him, so when you get the microphone, if you're going to take a turn, please introduce yourself, because a whole part of this is so that we can get to know each other, and knowing people's names is one of the first steps. So go ahead, Morris.
Hi, I'm Morris Earl from Middlebury, and I met with Ann Christie and Steve Mayer, and Ann suggested that I talk about what we talked about, and so I was just interested listening to my friends about how just all the many different threads that run through people's lives, and each person is like a complete novel of things that I haven't been thinking about and so forth. And Ann talked about being not sure where she would be at Christmas, whether she would be here singing in the choir on Christmas Eve for all of us, or whether she would meet with her sister, and she had a certain amount of ambivalence, and whether her friend would want to be with her at Christmas or not, and then maybe her sister was going to send her brother a bus fare so that he could come and join. And then I said, oh, does your brother have a hard time coming up with a bus fare? And she said, yes, he has different circumstances. So this made me think about how, sort of how much in a bubble I live, that there are so many people with so many different circumstances. And she talked about loving writing, that one of her favorite parts of Christmas was beforehand writing all the Christmas cards to friends and people that she dearly loved, that she didn't keep in touch with, but kept in touch with then at that time of the year, and that was a wonderful thing. And Steve talked about getting together with his one-year-old grandchild and family, and that sounded really fantastic too. And so I think that was about, and I talked about childhood Christmases at my grandmother's house in New York City, where 50 relatives would gather, and lots of aunts and uncles. I come from a huge family, and also my ambivalence in the last 30 years because of materialism and feeling like there were many people in need, and how much I loved the song that the choir sang, because it addressed right, spot on that, a huge part of our job and lives, and as Christians or anti-Christians or whatever the UU church is, to be thinking about people in need as a sort of a primary focus, and that my children always sort of helpfully addressed that, because when we were opening old Christmas presents, they always would give me some book about, like, King Leopold's Ghost, about people being totally miserable in Africa or something, so I could feel like at least I was thinking about miserable people, if not doing something about it. So that's about it.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Burton, and I had the pleasure of meeting with Dale Birdsall and Seth Gibson. And I'm just here to tell Seth's story with his permission. Actually, before I do that, I was really struck by how many similarities that the three of us had, and it really makes me want to get to know each of you better. So that was a really great exercise. So Seth's story is short, but shareable, I think. So they had a cat as children, and when they came home one time at Christmas time, they opened the door and the cat went running out of the house as fast as possible. And they thought, what's that all about? So they walked in and into the room where the Christmas tree was, and the Christmas tree had been knocked all the way over. What a mess. And so the cat, interestingly, stayed on its own, like hid for the next couple days, because that cat knew it was going to be in big trouble. That's Seth's story.
Next.
I'm Jerry Loney. I just found it so touching and moving to hear the heart of families that we started with as children receiving, and now share with our children and grandchildren. And that kind of connection through generations is just a treasure to me.
I can add a little bit to the cat story. The cat's name was Moppet. And if any of you break into my computer, you'll discover that the secret word is Moppet. The ornaments that were on that tree that survived were passed on to me as the youngest of the family. And I brought them up here, and they sat in a box in my storage area for about 10 years since I'd ever put a tree up. And eventually I gave them to somebody in East Middlebury to decorate the tree that was put up in the East Middlebury Library, I believe. Oh, nice. I haven't been down to see how it is, but they live on, the ones that didn't get broken.
I won't embarrass you. My mother. We had a group that was remarkable in our diversity with our experience with Christmas, and it was such a valuable reminder to me that it's a really hard time of year for a lot of people, and everyone has a very different perspective. One thing we all agreed on is we love the music. Love the music of Christmas, and those of us who have experienced it, we love the silent night moment during our Christmas Eve service here at CVUUS.
Maybe we have one more person who's willing to share. Oh, good. That'll be perfect because Liam, then you're gonna introduce your song next. So,
our group, Alice and Paul Stone, our conversation revolved around trees. And Alice, and your last name is German Z hyphenated with an H something. German name, so it was a German Christmas tree. It was amazing Christmas tree. And then along comes me thinking I'm peculiar, and my daughter, an environmentalist, couldn't, like, why cut something down? Why have a fake tree? So we would have a Christmas branch, a dead branch from a deciduous, and that we would decorate with birdseed ornaments and things for the animals. It would be outside, just outside the window, Christmas branch. When we ended up in Australia, she still needed a Christmas branch. And so we had the branch in the middle of this inner city apartment, and she took white out and put little lines of snow white out on all the branches. Just when I thought I was peculiar, along comes Paul. And when he was in the Philippines, didn't find a traditional Christmas tree. That's not everything around the world, but he did find a 2x4 that he drilled several holes in, and then he stuck branches into the 2x4. So we had various ways of welcoming the outside, inside, and being aware of how to care for the environment.
great. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for taking the risk and the chance to share with one another. As we build community here at CVUUS, it's really important that we do these kinds of things periodically so that we get to know one another better. And I encourage you to take your conversations downstairs to coffee hour and seek someone out whose stories you heard, or follow up with one of the people in your group so that you maybe get a little bit more of the story. We're going to sing a song that Liam rewrote the words. It's a familiar tune, and Liam wrote the words too. Is there anything else we should say?
I've always loved the tune of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, with the words, to save us all from Satan's power when we had gone astray, had the fear of Satan and condemnation. Feel the comfort and joy. And so this was the year that COVID started, and we were doing braiding sweetgrass, and I wanted a song that had comfort and joy, but was about the winter solstice. And so you'll hear things that really invite you in from the cold and the dark into a warm place by the fire. Swing it? I don't know how. I kind of like it's a mellow, but all right. Oh, no, I can do it now. Okay.
closing words come from Amy Zucker Morgenstern, CVUUS's former ministerial intern, who we had before we called our first full-time minister. The words are, "May all our hours together be blessed as this one has been, by open-hearted sharing, learning from one another, and making beautiful harmonies together. And may we greet everyone we encounter with the same acceptance and grateful kinship until we meet again. Blessed be."